What is the relationship between family, wage, labor, and migration? An anthem to Puerto Ricans everywhere. Boricua en la Luna, a poem by Puerto Rican nationalist Juan Antonio Correger, pays tribute to the thousands of Boricuas who migrated to the U.S. during the 1950s and 1960s. But which were the causes that prompted this great migration? Understanding the historical and economic background will unveil the intrinsic relationship between family life, waged labor, and migration for Puerto Ricans. A few years before the Great Migration, the government of Puerto Rico passed the Industrial Incentives Act, popularly known as Operation Bootstrap. The act provided tax exemptions to manufacturing U.S. companies and encouraged them to establish their factories in the archipelago. At the time, political leaders and economists hoped that these factories would offer Puerto Rican men good jobs and higher wages, allowing them to economically provide for their families and create decent homes. Yet, unlike the success of the nuclear family model in other Western countries, the hopes of the government of Puerto Rico for modernizing the Puerto Rican family, making men into responsible fathers and breadwinners and women into caring mothers and homemakers became lopsided. Labor-intensive industries of cloth and textiles were the first to arrive in Puerto Rico with Operation Bootstrap. These factories preferred to hire women for their manual skills and accustomed lower wages, which in turn left many Puerto Rican men who previously worked in agriculture unemployed. This issue, the Puerto Rican government adjusted its economic policies and encouraged men to migrate to the U.S. to find agricultural jobs. During the 1950s, the Migration Office became the Migration Division of the Puerto Rico Department of Labor. The division acted as a labor recruitment agency for industrial, agricultural, and domestic workers, collecting information on workers' education and skills and referring them to the employers. As a result, Puerto Rican workers were incorporated into the lower rungs of the U.S. labor market as unskilled, low-wage operatives in light manufacturing, garment, food processing, as service and maintenance workers in restaurants, hotels, laundries, delivery services, and as farm laborers, mostly men, and domestic workers, mostly women. Consequently, this government-led migration radically altered the organization of Puerto Rican families. While the local Puerto Rican government overtly advocated for a smaller family, its economic and public policies pushed the members of this nuclear family away from each other. During the 1950s and 1960s, many Puerto Rican fathers migrated to the U.S., while many Puerto Rican mothers stayed in Puerto Rico and worked in garment factories. The unsuccessful attempts of the great Puerto Rican family to achieve cohesiveness, harmony, and ultimately modernity as proponents of the nuclear family envisioned prompted Puerto Rican communities and political organizations to question the official narratives on migration. They rejected the prevalent portrayal of Puerto Rican laborers as inexpensive and expendable workers in the U.S. and highlighted their precarious situation as workers in the U.S. They worked 10 days a week and were only paid for 5. They worked, and they died. They died broke. They died owing. They died never knowing what the front entrance of the First National City Bank looks like. Juan died dreaming about a new car. Miguel died dreaming about new anti-poverty programs. Milagros died dreaming about a trip to Puerto Rico. Olga died dreaming about real jewelry. Manuel died dreaming about the Irish sweepstakes. Puerto Rican Obituary by Pedro Pietro.